Welcome to episode number 136 of the award-winning Eavesdrop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Shopify, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Shopify and how we've been using Shopify for the last couple of years later on in the podcast. Honorable guest, my brother, mi hermano, mi carnal, mi compa desde Colombia, Sebas Beron, Sebastián Beron. Sebas, as you guys know him. What's up, brother?
What's up, bro? I'm happy to be here.
New Texas.
Yes, very, very new as of last night, literally.
Yeah, literally last night. Are you excited about the move?
I'm excited, bro. At first, you know, it's always uncomfortable and stuff, and long drive, lots to deal with the move and stuff. But as soon as we got here, it's like I'm ready. Yeah. You know, just new challenge.
Let me ask you, when did you get to? Well, let's start from the beginning, because I have a bunch of questions. Who are you today? Let's start there.
Well, now I'm a full-time streamer, content creator for best org in the world. And I was born in Colombia and moved to the States when I was like 12.
What part of Colombia?
Cali, Colombia.
And
very, very humble. We used to walk 2 miles to school. Mom was always working. I was always with, you know, the lady who took care of us and cleaned the house and stuff. And so very, very, very humble beginnings.
What was it like? Tell me about your neighborhood. So, how long were you there for? Like,
I was there until I was 12.
Okay, bro, you and I have the same story. All right.
Yeah.
What was your neighborhood like?
So very, very humble, but it was cool because it was around the time where like technology is not what it is today. So I was always outside with the bike, and it was in a neighborhood where there was always 15, 20 kids outside, you know, playing ding dong ditch and manhunt and soccer. Played lots of soccer, love soccer. But when it would rain, we had to walk 2 miles to school, and sometimes some of the roads were flooded.
Yeah.
And I would get to school all full of mud and dirt, and
you didn't care.
Yeah, I didn't care. I mean, at the time, it wasn't. I didn't know anything else, and I was happy. You know, I had everything. Like? Maybe 100 students.
In the total school.
Very, very small school. It was a French school.
French.
Yeah.
Did they teach French there? Or?
A little bit. I mean, I was too young. I mean, I know how to count. That's pretty much it. But I lived in Colombia till I was 12, but my parents split when I was 5, and my dad moved here to try to, you know, get his papers situation and come work out here in the States. And I stayed in Colombia with my mom from 5 till 12 when my dad figured all that out and was able to bring my brother and I to the States, to Miami.
Got it. So back home, it was just you, your mom, your brother.
That's it.
No grandma?
Well, my grandma and grandpa were always around from my dad's side, and that was like a second home.
Yeah, of course.
You know how it is, abuela, always.
Dude, it's...
Did you have anything to eat?
Yeah,
you know,
it's like,
do your homework.
You didn't eat this. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So obviously, you know, growing up as humbly as you did, what were some of the reasons why your parents wanted to move out here? Like your mom moved to the United States, etc.
So my mom, when we finally made the move, was my dad. He came to Cali, and we had to go with him to the embassy in Bogota and finish up all the paperwork. And that's where we were really gonna find out if we got approved for like mine and my brother's residency. And so when we found that out, that's when my mom started crying, because she knew I was gonna move out here with my dad, because my dad was married to somebody else here.
Ooh.
My stepmom.
Yeah.
And so 2 months later, I moved here with my dad, and then my mom stayed over there. So I was living with my dad, and my mom was in Colombia.
Yeah.
And my mom didn't have a visa, so she couldn't visit.
And
it was tough for me to visit, just the money situation.
Of course,
and I was so young.
Yeah. How do you travel by yourself? Like, there's no direct flights. I mean, maybe now there is, but...
Yeah, no, there was direct flights, but it's just... No, flights weren't really the problem, but every time I was gonna fly, I needed like a permit, like a letter from my mom or my dad, or whoever I was flying from or to, stating that it was okay. And it was always a mission in the airport, and we always had to go with somebody or, you know, with one of the flight attendants. So it just wasn't
with that big like hanging thing with all your info. So what was like? I mean, your mom had to have been so heartbroken.
She was
heartbroken.
It was a very tough moment
for both of you too,
for
right?
Even you know, it was like kind of twice, because when I was 5 and my dad moved here, I remember the day he moved here. I remember waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the airport with him, and that was probably one of my earliest memories. And he grabbed me and stood me up and goes, "I'm gonna come back for you." And several years later, he did. I didn't see him for 7 years. He couldn't travel.
Damn. No, what was the communication like?
We spoke every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The communication was always constant.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Also with your mom?
Yeah, also with
okay,
mom.
good.
Yeah.
Well, at least that made it a little bit easier. I mean,
yes.
You know, in some cases, like telephones aren't even a thing in some rural areas like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been to Colombia. I hope to one day visit. But you know, from the Mexican part that I was, like telephones weren't like a thing. Like it wasn't. And also, I was in the 80s, right? So it's different. It wasn't as accessible as it is now. All right. So you moved to the United States when you were around 12 years old.
Yeah, I was around 12 with my father, and then I started. Not a word of English.
Miami.
Yeah,
not a word.
Not a word of English.
Could you understand it?
No. Zero.
Get out of here.
But I grew up with a lot of siblings, so it was my brother and I. From my dad's side, my dad married somebody here
who had kids already.
Who had 2 kids, and together they had 2, so it was 6 of us.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up, it was 6 of us. So the 2 from my stepmother's side, they spoke perfect English. So that's what helped a lot, because not even my dad spoke English. He was always speaking Spanish, but they were always speaking it, so it was easy for me to pick it up. Well, my dad passed.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
3 years after I moved here.
Oh, wow.
I was 15.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we moved here. I was living with him 3 years. He was pressure cleaning a roof, and he fell.
No.
And I stayed here, man. I stayed here by myself. I didn't want to, you know, I already kind of had friends here in school, and I was doing good in school, and I was playing soccer. I was on a soccer team in school, and I was on a track team. And when all that happened, I didn't want to go back. And it was tough because my mom was there, and it was a tough time. I went back for like 3 months, but I couldn't go back for more than 6 months at a time because I wasn't a citizen at the time.
So what is at what point does your mom join you back here? Or let me ask you this:
She hasn't. She's still in Colombia.
She's still in Colombia.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought that from the pictures that I've seen on your Instagram.
So I very blessed that I now can see her very, very often. So I go all the time, and she comes all the time.
Awesome.
So it's maybe I see her every 3 months, but we speak every day.
That's really good. Especially, I mean, FaceTime is easier. Yeah, that's so much easier.
You know
WhatsApp, I do. And I'm not anti WhatsApp, but I just hate when people hit me up on. It got to the point too where too many people were hitting me up on WhatsApp that I just deleted the app.
WhatsApp's like Facebook to me now. I only use it to talk to family, my grandmother and my mom, and that's it.
Isn't that crazy? Like, obviously, and I know that Facebook gaming has like a thing, like they're making a good effort on that, but I just don't ever go on Facebook, man.
That is literally the reason, because they have a pretty good program, and they've actually reached out before, but I just don't use the platform, so I just can't. I feel fake if I just go over there and stream full time over there if I'm not even the biggest fan of it, I guess. Or not even just the biggest fan, is just what I'm used to. I'm just, every time I go to watch a streamer, I go on Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, I do YouTube. I mean, it depends on who I'm watching too. And even streams, I don't watch that much. Yesterday I was watching it because I was about to play some Warzone, and I was waiting for a couple of friends of mine from home to hop on. Now we're talking like 40-year-old dudes, right? Like these guys didn't grow up like me. They grew up playing sports and not any video games. Our first video game encounter didn't come until we were like 19 or 20. But now they picked up the game because of Fortnite. That's the game that they got them in there, and now they're in Warzone, so it's like it's a little bit better. But I was watching Scump and the boys play some fucking party, some Mario Party looking thing.
Okay. Mario Party's fun.
No, it wasn't Mario Party. It was something. What was it? What's it called, Matt? Do you know the name of that? Yeah. You brought your brother with you. We'll talk about him in a little bit, but bro, feel free to get up and record whatever you need. Get close-ups. Do not worry about interrupting. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course, man. Like this is what you need to know about optic is the cameras are always going to be on, and we're here to entertain.
I love that.
We are so blessed to be able to get an hour in this case, or 10 minutes here and 10 minutes there entertainment, and you know, every little insight of behind the scenes that we get to share with people like goes a long way. So that's why I'm always like, everybody fucking grab a camera.
Yeah, I've been vlogging the whole move ever since I made the decision to move. So it's been about 3 months, 4 months of just vlogging the entire process. I sold my car and just everything.
Hell yeah.
And so this is part of it. So we're putting it all together. I'm excited.
So you don't, it's not daily, it's you're creating one big move vlog.
Yes,
that's good.
One big, just my move to Dallas for optic.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's I'm happy that you guys took the chance on moving out here, because it's not Miami, okay? Like, I've been to Miami. It's not Miami.
Yeah.
It's a lot slower, but it's also, in my opinion, a lot better. Like, this area, there's no other place in the United States, I am convinced of it, like North Texas. Everything's new. Everything is like, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I do love it here, and I don't see myself living anywhere else.
To be honest, it's when I got here, it was one of those things, and obviously I've been coming here for content for a year and a half. But when I got here, I was kind of glad that it's not like Miami. When I saw how everything was kind of slower, newer, very techy, and that's not Miami. And so I really liked how you see a lot more people on their cameras here, more people involved with gaming or know about it a lot more with vlogging. So it just, I feel more connected.
Yeah. Good. You'll learn that Frisco is such a small town, and I know that you're not staying in Frisco, but you'll learn that like everybody around here, you know, knows what's up, right? Like everywhere we go, people know what's up. So it's also good to have that sort of familiarity, because they I don't want to say that they treat you differently, but they do give you a little bit more attention when you're in there. And yeah, but it has partly to do with Southern hospitality, but it also has to do with the fact that they understand that, you know, we may talk about their restaurant, or we may talk about something, and so they try a little bit harder to make it nice, because they don't want to have some dude.
They see the value in it too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when you see it from that perspective, when people see the value, it just, everyone kind of pitches in to understand that it's just like a regular thing. You don't, they don't look at you like you're weird.
I spend I mean, some weeks I'm at the Frisco Diner 4 mornings a week, just having meetings. Nice. And that's like my morning meeting, which to me is like the most important meeting of the day, because it sets the tone for the rest of the day. And I like to get like all of my thoughts from the night before, and because I like to think about how my day went and the overall goal before I go to sleep, so I can hopefully dream about a solution. I know it sounds super weird.
That is so dope, and it's and you may think it's weird, but it's really not. I connect with you a lot in that sense. Like I'm starting to meditate. I've never done it before, but I just started to do it because of something that stuck with me from when I was in the bank. It was a client that came in, and she had just finished doing it.
Bro, you and I have the same.
That's so crazy. I get goosebumps, bro.
Yeah, go.
I lost myself.
Meditating, something you heard at the bank.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it was one of my clients. I used to take care of clients who had more than $500,000 in the bank cash, and so there was a lot of successful business people, and there was one of my clients, a regular, who she came in and she had just finished meditating, and she was like, hey, and she shared like her story. She was maybe like 50 or 60.
Okay.
It was an older neighborhood, Hollywood, Florida. And so when I was listening to her story of it always stuck with me. And I had like, it's been like 3 years ago, and it was just somewhere along the lines of, you know, I was very stressed before, and meditation just really helps me calm down, and it really helps me put my thoughts together, or like whenever finding a solution, because like when you're really thinking about your day before and you're really focusing on that, that's kind of like a form of meditating in a sense.
Yep.
And so just that, and I also read Think and Grow Rich after, which has a chapter about meditation or talking to people in your head. It's weird, but that's why I don't think, when you share that with me, it's like I connect, like I get it.
Yeah, it's the term act as if has always been a part of my life from the beginning of time, right? I never acted as I was. I always acted as I am today. But back then,
Gotcha.
right? In high school, after high school, like I always knew that I was going to be a successful dude. I just didn't know how I was going to get there. And I do believe that putting stuff out there is not necessarily the universe or the ether, like, or the stars or the zodiac signs or the fucking farmer's almanac putting shit in your path to make that happen, but it's you telling yourself that this is happening, and you'll be able to spot those possibilities.
Yeah, kind of like making a promise to yourself.
Yeah,
in a way.
No, I didn't. I don't. Yeah, I think so. I think that's a good way to put it. But yeah, that's the way that I saw myself. I always knew, like, if you ask anybody, any of my friends, like, I always had a little bit more confidence than I should have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think that's very important, confidence.
Yeah. What did you do at the bank?
I started as a banker. When I was
how old were you?
When my dad passed, I moved in with some friends, and they were doing Primerica.
Okay, yeah.
And they used to be really, really deep in Primerica, and I wasn't even 18 at the time, so I couldn't do it. But as soon as I turned 18, I lived in their household, and you know they always have to like recruit people and stuff. So as soon as I turned 18, they recruited me, and it was kind of like one of those things that's like, hey, just get in, like try it out, whatever. I'm 18. I didn't really see the value, but I wanted to help them. But I got in and I went to a couple of their meetings, and in one of the meetings, I just got super hooked. Yeah. And the financial world just intrigued me so much.
Yeah. How much were you getting for every account? It depended on the amount of I went to like 3 meetings of Primerica, and then the lady that was mentoring me took us to Home Depot. And that's where we were gonna go pitch customers. They were just walking around, and I'm like, this isn't.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So no, I mean it was. I started out with life insurance, and so it was selling life insurance. When I turned 18, they sent me to go try to get my life insurance license. I failed like 6 times. Finally passed it, and then I was just selling life insurance to like my friends' moms or my friends' parents in school, and so that went well because I was selling $400,000-$600,000 policies at 18, and it was just a world that like I liked. But I didn't like the part of always bugging people to join or always having to find new people. I didn't like that sense of it. So I kind of stopped doing that. But I used all that experience and the license, and I had already gotten my 6 as well for investments and mutual funds and annuities. And so I used that experience to get a banker position at the bank, so kind of like skipping the teller part.
Yeah, I didn't skip the teller part. And I'll tell you what, it was one of the most fun I've ever had in my life to this day. Any job that I've ever had, this has that is a memorable moment. Not only and the only reason was because I was working with my best friends. Still to this day, I'm best friends with him, Mario, who used to come here a lot to help. People thought he was Shotzi in one of the leaked videos, but Mario used to be a teller there. I was a teller there. My boy Angel was a teller there. This dude named Jesus, who lives here now, was a teller there. Like, we turned that fucking place, and we were just fucking bad.
And when was this?
I was 19. I was 18, 19.
What year was that?
1998, 99.
Oh, that's when banking was fun, bro. Yeah. The fun hours, all the...
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that in the back, we were fucked. Like, because we were in the back, and we 2 of us would have to do the drive-through, and then 2 of us would have to be out front. And then there was, like, old ladies in there, too, that worked with us, and they didn't really catch the vibe.
Always the ones that have been there 40 years.
Yeah, but the thing is like, we were, like, anytime there was a line outside, they would call somebody from the back, and here we are, young, cracked little. It's like it's 1-1 for a checking deposit, 1-2 for a check-in saving or a check-in withdrawal, 1-3 for transfer. Anyway, we had the fucking numbers locked down.
Right, deposit.
Yeah, so I'm like 1-1, 2-2, 2-1.
The keybinds,
Yeah. So we were going boom, 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 and we would get rid of the line crazy. So our transactions per day, we're talking. We would do 99% of the transaction. These old ladies who were the supervisor and the assistant supervisor, and they were just that because, one, I was big bald. I literally looked like a cholo, dude, like a cholo, but well dressed, right? Like super, super gangster. Then all my other boys were the same way, right? Like they were brown dudes, and we were just, we're all about fun, right?
Right.
All the young, women that used to come in there would love to do transactions. They would wait for us and do the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? You know how it goes. But in the back, we would like stack up boxes and then we'd like fucking jump through. I would pay a lot of money to be able to get all of that footage from those security cameras.
Cameras in the back.
Oh man, it was so good, bro. It was such a good time. And yeah, so that's what I did. And then from there, that's when I became a personal bank officer. And then from there, I went to the mortgage industry. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, you did mortgages.
I did.
Nice.
Did you get to that doing that?
So I started as a banker, then what they called it like banker 2, and then a licensed banker, which that's when they officially brought in my insurance and investment licenses, but under Wells Fargo. And then 4 years after working for them, I became a private banker.
Got it.
I was like 22, 23.
Dude, the second somebody told me that there was money, like real money to be made. Have you ever seen the movie? You have, for sure. The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
You know how when he's like, how much do you make? He's like, 70 grand. He's like, is it 70 grand a year? He's like, no, that's 70 grand last month. He's like, fuck out. If you show me a check that you made 70 grand I'm quitting my job and coming to work. That was me.
Yeah.
That has always been me. If you showed me somewhere where there's money to be made, I'm your fucking man. Because I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do what we do, but I'm also going to be thinking about how to make way more than that.
Exactly. And that was kind of like the world that I was in. Like I became so obsessed with the financial world and the licenses and, you know, just living that life.
Yeah.
And when I got to the private banking position, I was no longer taking care of walking traffic. It was only people who had more than $500,000 by appointment or referrals from bankers and tellers. And they had a huge incentive to refer over to the private banker. Yeah. And so, bro, I was just setting appointments every single day and just investments. And the commission checks were crazy. I think I was like 23 years old. And
what's
one of
the
my
most
first,
you made in a year?
At the bank?
Yeah.
200.
Damn.
Yes. At like 24.
Yeah. The most I made also at 24. The most I made at a bank at the mortgage was 145. But my base salary was like 45. So all of my bonuses were like 110, 120, right? Because but it was mortgages and it was subprime lending where they weren't fucking verified. I mean, you see what happened now because of the history, but it was literally me just hustling my ass off and making, because to me it became a game, right? I knew what things I needed to check for, and it became second nature, and I could go through a file in literally under 3 minutes and know, because I'm not the loan officer, I'm not the underwriter. All I needed to do was close these loans and give a list to whoever that I needed additional income verification or this, that, and the other, and clearing this, clearing that. And my quota for the month, I worked at Washington Mutual. Long Beach Mortgage first, and then Long Beach Mortgage sold to Washington Mutual. Washington Mutual sold to Chase. Right. So at Long Beach Mortgage, we were Region 7. Shout out Wendy Albee. She was my manager. One of the best bosses I've ever had. But Region 7 was on the fucking map. And nice. me and my partner Jig, this dude named Jig Mehta, that motherfucker was a bad motherfucker. He and I, bro, there were so many old people around us. No offense to all the old people, I still love you guys, but there were so many people around us that just weren't about their fucking money, and we could not understand it, right? This dude is an immigrant. I am an American-born immigrant, right? So I don't have no choice but to fucking make sure that I'm making paper.
Exactly.
There's no other nothing.
No.
So our quota for the month was 60 loans a month. And there was some dude named, I was going to say his name, but I don't know, I'm kind of talking shit about him. There was a dude that was working there who didn't do shit. He did the bare fucking minimum and was happy with it. And he got paid more than me, and he got paid more than Jake because he was older.
He's been there for so long?
No, he was older. He was new, and he was older.
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
But we didn't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're like, all right, so 60, we were taking all these files, bro. The most I ever closed in 1 month was like 390, and my boy Jay closed like 410. Like, he beat me by 20 files, and I was like, oh.
In loan volume?
Yeah, loan value. No, loan files. Loan volume, we're talking about fucking maybe 200, 300 mil. Who fucking knows?
Wow.
Right? Yeah. And we didn't get bonus off of the cash value. We got bonuses off of each file, and it was like fucking $50 a file or some shit, over your quota. Dude was happy with it. All these people around us were like happy with it, and I was just like, I don't understand how these people aren't just trying to make like it's 50 a pop. You kidding me? Let me get fucking 900.
Yeah.
So and he trained me, right, and as he kept on going, like I kept on going, I was trying to beat him so fucking much.
And I love that competitiveness too. Within that must have made it fun too.
Yeah. So at one point, I closed. So our quota was 60 a month. I closed 63 loans on one Friday, on the last Friday of the month, 1 month. 63 that month, and everybody was like, fuck yeah, because all the loan officers made a shit ton of money. My manager got bonus, my supervisor got bonus, I got bonus, my loan officer got bonus, my processor and my underwriter got bonuses. You know what I mean? I
so
killed
you got everybody paid.
Yeah, I got everyone fucking mega paid.
Nice.
And then we collapsed the fucking financial and housing market. Not proud of it, but I didn't know. It was not my job.
Well, now you know, guys. It's all HECZ fault.
Yeah, I will say this though, like Jude, my wife used to work at the same place that I did, and literally she would go home and tell me, she's like, this is wrong. She's like, this is what they're making us do is fucking wrong. And I'm like, don't say nothing. Like we got goals, baby. You know what I'm saying? Like we got goals, and we're gonna meet those goals. Period. And I sure as fuck made sure that I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my mortgage. I always tell that shit because I get so passionate because it's like such a weird thing to be a part of.
But it's dope, man. It's a cool story because when you're going through it and you're grinding it out and making a phone call to close out your loans, like that's a fun process when you look back. Like it might have sucked at the time, or you know, but it's fun. I could relate a lot when I used to work there at Wells and we were trying to meet the investment goals. You know, my investment goals.
Were you tattooed when you worked at the bank?
I got tattooed when I worked there. Yeah. But it was never like my hand or my always stuff I could hide within my suit.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Well, I didn't have any tattoos, but
I got none of my in my hand. But as soon as I left, I got my hand and my neck tattooed. It was kind of like I'm never going back.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that is that I, to this day, am so enslaved by old corporate America that like mentally enslaved that I don't. I mean, this is like as far as I've gone, and I'm like, what if I need to get a job? Like, people are gonna look at me differently. But now I'm just like, what the fuck do I have to wear? Like, so now I'm like, just fucking put it on.
It was the same for me. It was the same for me, and I'll go a little deeper. My dad hated tattoos, and I never got tattoos. I low key always liked them, but I never liked them. I never got them because he never liked them. And after I left the bank, it was kind of like one of those moments that like, I fuck with them, and I don't find anything wrong with them, and it's not gonna change me as a person. So I'm gonna do me. And
my dad.
Got this after I got this one. It was kind of like, bring it.
Once you get the hands, like that's
like just fuck it, bring it.
Yeah. Neck, I think face. Would you ever do face?
I don't think so. I want to say I don't want to say never because you just never know. Maybe I'll find something minimalistic or simple and sleek somewhere. I don't know, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think I could get face shit because that's like
I don't know.
That's
bro.
gangsterous.
My grandma would disown me, bro.
Yeah, that's gangsterous. What did that model say? Is like, why would you put a sticker on a Bentley?
Right,
that's what I'm saying. No, I'm kidding. But so I think the tattoo stuff is like a very, very telling place of how old you are. Also because. But it's also, I think something that's going to push you to continue to do what you're doing now, right? You're always going to be your own boss. You know what I'm saying? You could be part of teams and you could get, paid by sponsors and all that stuff, but you're your own boss at the end of the day. And I think that that's something so powerful that the internet has allowed people to do, that I just don't see the harm in it also, right? But there are still a lot of old people. I say you give it another decade and no one's going to bat an eye about weed. No one's going to bat an eye about tattoos. No one's going to bat an eye, period. I think we're growing as a species into hopefully something better. But we'll see.
And I think it is better, man. I think it is, and you see it. But especially, I see it more so in Colombia, especially with the whole gaming stuff. Like when pandemic happened and I called my mom and I tell her I'm leaving the bank. Like this was before I signed to Envy. Like this was like I was making, I had some sponsors and then I had like 2,000 subs on Twitch and I said, Mom, I'm leaving. I was like, I'm making enough to make a living and I have some money saved and I'm gone. Like I can't even be at the bank anymore. Like I was just so clocked out mentally when I knew that this was something I could do and I just couldn't sleep without thinking about it. And it was all like, what am I doing going here every day 9 to 5? Like it's killing me.
Before we get into that, I wanted to say a quick commercial break. I want to say how to Shopify, but then I want to hear that story as to how you got into gaming. So give me a second. Sebas, give me a couple of seconds while I say hello to the sponsors. This sponsor is actually a very, very personal favorite of mine, and that happens to be Shopify. Shopify has been around the optics store since the beginning of... actually since we moved here, they don't just operate all the optic stuff. They also do all the hex quarter stuff and pretty much everything that we do here. So it's I'm particularly proud and excited to have them as one of the sponsors of this podcast, because Shopify gives entrepreneurs the resources once reserved for big businesses, so upstarts and startups and established businesses alike can all have a level playing field, synchronize online and in-person sales, and effortlessly stay informed. What I mean by stay informed, I mean that you can look at every person's shopping tendencies, what the data shows, it's your best-selling items, what you shouldn't or not print as much of. Or that's the way that we look at it, right? We look at the amount of people who buy the apparel that we have, and sometimes we have left over, and usually that gets seeded out to the creator, so it's not a big deal. But for some people, it does matter. For some people, having this data and having these analytics is super important, because scaling a business is all about keeping and retaining as much money as you can, instead of so you can reinvest it into other things, right? Shopify powers millions of businesses, including our own. From first sale to full scale, you can reach customers online and across social networks with an ever-growing suite of channel integrations and applications, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and more. Synchronize all of your online and in-person sales. To give you an example, obviously when we have an event, we still use Shopify to keep track of the amount of merch that people are buying and what they are buying as it goes through with it. You can gain insights as you grow with detailed reporting of conversion rates, profit margins, and beyond. More than a store, Shopify helps you grow, and it grows with you. This possibility is powered by Shopify. If you go to shopify.com/eavesdrop, that's EAVESDROP, all lowercase, you can get a 14-day trial for free and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/eavesdrop. That is shopify.com/EAVESDROP. And I'll put a link in the description to make it super easier for you. But whether it's apparel, whether it's pottery, whether it's dog leashes and dog bandanas, the way the Jude's making them, this is what we use in the Rodriguez household. Gosh darn it. And obviously we haven't launched that one yet, but we will, and it will be done, better believe it, with and through Shopify. Again, I'll give it to you one more time, but the link will be in the description down below. It's shopify.com/eavesdrop to get a 14-day trial with the entire suite of offerings from Shopify. Absolutely free for the 14-day, and I hope that you get on your way to a fruitful and very, very promising career as an online salesperson of whatever product you feel deemed necessary. So yeah, huge thanks to Shopify for sponsoring the podcast. So back to you. All right, so you're working at the bank. You're wearing a suit and tie every single day. You know what's crazy though, too? In high school, I always said that I was going to wear a suit to work. I said that. I'm like, when I grow up, I want to wear a suit to work. And I used to tell my dad that, and my dad would be like, you think somebody wearing a suit is making more money than this dude right here doing fucking construction?
Probably not.
And I'm like, probably not, but I know that I'm not cut out for that shit. You know what I mean? I'm like,
I've always thought the same, bro. I was like, yeah, fuck that.
When it comes to that, I'm a Mexican. I am not that dude. You know what I mean? That's a different breed. My brother is works outside for telecommunications. And he's always climbing, like he loves that shit. He just loves being outside, but it's hotter than fucking Texas. So you'll see him posting like him just fucking drenched in sweat, dark as fuck. I get so, do you get darker than this?
Yes, dark as fuck.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I was like, I told my dad, I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm a Mexican for that. I'm not doing that. And he's like, all right, well, you're going to follow your own path and this, that. So,
I always wanted to wear a suit to work, and then I wore a suit to work for 10 years, and now I hate wearing a suit. Yeah. I would wear a suit. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'm like, you know what? I want to stream in a suit. And I'll just surprise my stream and stream in a suit.
Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, cool.
Maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
But besides that, I don't know. It's just...
I had an idea for the Googans to do like a formal dinner fishing, catch and cook. Do you fish at all? No. We got to go fishing. I'm going to take you fishing.
I've actually never been fishing.
You've never held a live fish in your hand?
Never. No.
I mean, it's all right.
I've seen it on Instagram. I'm like, all right,
I'll tell you what. There's nothing like the connection that you make as a human holding a different species I mean, look, some people hunt. I can't hunt. I see my dog's face. You know what I mean? I could not hunt, but I will fish. Take a selfie, send the shit, send it back.
You know what I always found cool was the spear fishing.
Yeah.
And you go underwater with a gun. Like that's fucking dope.
Yeah. If you're eating
that shit.
If it's just for fun and you're just killing shit just to kill shit, you're a moron. Look, if you're taking care of your crops and your land is infested by pigs, you're solving a $10,000 problem with a $1 bullet. You know what I mean? For a farmer, that's an easy thing to do, right? It's an invasive species. You have to feed your family. You have a business to run. $1 can handle that. You're gonna pull that trigger. I would pull that trigger, even if I wouldn't care. Like I wouldn't think twice. Like my family comes first, and that's what it is. Period. But yeah, like I couldn't do that. All right, so besides the bank, did you have any other jobs growing up?
Yeah, I had a ton of jobs growing up.
What about in Colombia?
No, not in Colombia.
No? You're too
young? I
young?
was too young, yeah.
No, not me, man. I started at 8 years old.
I sold, like, I helped my mom make, like, ají for, like, the empanadas.
Yeah.
She had, like, a little empanadas business at one point in her house. But, like, me actually, like, go to work, no.
No?
No.
Yeah, I did a couple of times. But I think, you know what's crazy is that I at the time, I didn't know what I was being shaped to be. And I don't know why I don't even know if it was my dad or who it was that pushed me to go help my uncle mow lawns at this factory that they both worked at. And then, so there was a factory that my uncle Armando was like the foreman of, and then my dad worked there too. And on the weekends we would go. So both my dad and my uncle were big soccer players. They fucking played.
Nice.
And on the back of this factory, my uncle had a fucking dope ass soccer field. Like he took it upon himself to make sure that soccer field was fucking the greener than any other soccer field around Juarez.
Wow.
Right. So
okay. I
would go on, and I don't remember whether or not it was the same factory. I might be talking shit at this point, but I was like fucking 8. You know what I mean? I was mowing lawns at 8 years old, and then when I was done there, I would go to the back of the factory where my grandfather, on my mom's side, my grandfather Jose, was breaking down cardboard boxes with this fucking dope ass knife, and I always wanted that knife. I'm like, I said, when I'm old, I'm gonna have that knife. That's gonna be my fucking knife. They ended up taking my grandfather's knife on his way here to visit, not here, but to Chicago, and he never saw it again. That was sad. That was some sad ass shit. But how I remember these things, I don't know. But anyway, I would go back here and I would cut up boxes with him. The majority of the time, I was just fucking going to the top of the mound of cardboard, and I would get on the cardboard and I would slide all the way down, and then I would fucking get in there again and slide, and then I would do some work where I would cut shit up, and then from there we would go and dump the garbage, not the cardboard, but because the cardboard was for us to sell. But we would grab all the garbage and then we go and dump it in the fields.
And you were 8?
Yeah, like 8, 9, something like that. Yeah, 1988. Whenever it was like 2 years before the Nintendo happened. When did Nintendo release the first Nintendo? Not in Japan here, Super Nintendo. And I remember this one time. I also helped my aunt go to El Paso, Texas, which is right across from the border, and I would go and she would go shopping, and she would bring like pots, pans, groceries, and I would help her carry all that back from El Paso. And we're talking, call it, I don't know, man, miles. Yeah, 1991. Yeah, so I was 11 in 1991. No, that's not it, Matt. That's Super Nintendo. The first Nintendo, Matt. Nintendo. Yeah, 86. Okay, man, was I 6 years old?
That's crazy.
Man, I may have been 6, not 8, when I was fucking working my ass off. I was definitely 8, because I don't think that at 5 I was gonna be able to push a fucking lawnmower. Anyway, long story short, I remember this day so fucking clear. I was helping my aunt bring this game from El Paso that she bought for her son, my cousin. Gilmar, rest in peace. And I remember carrying that. I was like, that was the only thing I was carrying the whole way home, bro. And I'm talking about miles of walking from El Paso over the bridge through El Centro, which is the market, and then all the way up to there. Just looking at this thing, and I'm like, man, I wish this one was mine, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I knew that I was carrying. It was almost torture for a fucking kid my age who wanted that. So
you were looking at it, you wanted it so bad, you had to carry it for somebody else.
I'm like, the thing that I want most in my life right now it's in my hands and it's not mine. And I was like, I am never gonna have like even then at that young age, I was like, I'm never gonna have this feeling when I'm able to make a difference for myself. Not a difference, but a difference for myself. I'm never gonna have this fucking feeling again.
Yeah. But those are the moments that like you think back and you're like, moment. Man, like that's never gonna be the case anymore.
It impacted me so fucking much that I am who I am because of that, amongst other things. But that specifically, yeah, I'll be in my deathbed, 103 years old, thinking about that moment. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro, I was fucking think about it. There was a big fucking box. It was beautiful artwork never before seen, and you could just imagining, because I hadn't even played the game, and I was just like, wow, who the fuck is this dude, and what's this fireball coming out of him, and where is he? Why is he in a dungeon?
And it's crazy because you're an artist. You like to
I don't
draw.
think I was back then. Oh,
no, but it's crazy because your mind is already interested in that side of it,
you're
like
right.
the artist side of it.
It's coded in you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy how it's coded in you. Anyway, so you're so no jobs before then, not even in high school or.
Well, no. Right before I finished high school, I got my first like real full-time job, which was a server. I was a server at a Argentinian restaurant. And I was like 16.
How's the food in Argentina?
Amazing steak and wine. That's what they're known for.
The fuck? That's like half a meal.
It's fire.
What were the sides?
They didn't really, bro. I dated an Argentinian. And we always used to go to her house for like whenever there was dinner for like whatever for me to go meet her dad, for example. Yeah. And it was just meat straight out of the. Yeah. And it's like picanha and just like with some lime, perfectly seasoned, and it's just fire, bro.
Yeah, well, it has to be because there's no sides.
Yeah, there's no sides, bro. I mean, if they had a side. I don't think I paid attention to it because all I remember is the steak.
Picanha slaps, 100%.
Yeah, just so fire. And he wouldn't get it from like the regular whatever supermarket. Like he had his low key like meat spot where they had all the cuts and bro, fire. And that and wine. That's all I remember ever seeing when I went for dinner. I always hear about that. I always hear about the legendary cuts that they have. The picanha, apparently Argentinian sausage is really, really good. Yeah, they have the sausage, or also they had what he had was Brazilian sausage in his thing, and he had basilio and picanha. Those were the cuts. Fire.
I can't have just some. I need to have a side. It needs to be compliment.
Well, at the restaurant they sold a whole bunch of stuff, and it was good food.
Yeah,
it was good food. But I was like 16.
Yeah.
And then I saved enough money to buy a car, and then I got a car, and that's when I was doing Primerica, and then eventually got into gaming. Then pandemic hit.
So this was recent then.
Super recent.
Oh my god!
I've been making content.
Well, look at the story that I'm telling you.
2.5 years.
1986, and you're talking about fucking last year and shit.
Yes, bro. I mean, I've always been super interested in gaming.
Yeah.
I used to play the OG Mario, the Mario,
This one.
and on that the OG Mario because my dad loved it.
That's the OG Mario.
Yes. So I used to play the OG Mario with my dad. And Pac-Man, he loved Pac-Man and Duck Hunt, and I remember playing that as a kid.
That's
I
crazy.
remember playing that as a kid with my dad, always trying to get to a bigger level. So he, you know how when you put two players, one's Mario, one's Luigi, and then he was Mario, I was Luigi, trying to beat his score. Yeah. Collect every coin or, kill every little.
Yeah. I often wonder if my parents would have been able back then to get me everything that I wanted if I would have been able to do what I did in this day and age, and I don't think so, man.
Yeah, I don't think so either, man.
Yeah, I
honestly don't think if I've never experienced the feeling that you mentioned about the Nintendo, like that was like a constant thing when I was a kid, especially in high school and stuff. When all my kids, all my friends, would get whatever they wanted for Christmas and stuff like that, and I was always like, damn, like one day I'm gonna work hard and that's never going to be an issue.
Yeah. All right. So what's the first game that you started? Like, what made you want to stream? Because a lot of people play video games.
So it was
not everybody.
It was Mario. Then whatever. I just played a lot of FIFA mainly with my father and Mario and stuff like that. But then it hit a point where around the Halo 3 days, that's when I was really gaming with my friends, like on Xbox Live Party and stuff like that. And I would look at streamers and be like, yo, it's so dope to be able to do that.
Who were you watching back then, if you remember?
Nick Merckx.
Oh, cool. Yeah, legend.
Yeah, Nick Merckx. And then the Fortnite days, I was watching a lot of Ninja, like when he played with Drake and stuff like that.
I think everyone did.
Yeah, so I was looking at those moments like, damn, it would be so dope to do that, but it never clicked in my head to like actually go out and do it, you know? And I actually quit video games when I was like super in the bank. Like that was my focus. Like whenever I put my focus into something, like
nothing else matters.
I gave him my Xbox, and I'm like, hey, I'm quitting video games, bro. Like it's taking too much time. Like I was partying a lot at the time as well, and I was just like, I gotta pick one. I can't do it all. And I let everything go, and then pandemic hit, gyms closed, there's no clubs, you can't party. I was home, and I bought a PC, and I was making videos on TikTok. I was making dancing TikToks. I was making gaming TikToks. I was just making content.
Musically or was it
right on the Switch, like
okay,
on Musically initially. I think I made maybe like 15 videos on Musically, and then TikTok. Like right in the beginning of it all. And this was like November 2019. That's when I made my first video ever. And that's when I picked video games back up.
Yeah.
But it was...
How did you pick the game? Just off of what you were watching?
Well, my friends were playing Fortnite, so I was initially started playing a lot of Fortnite.
Yep.
And then Warzone came out, and as soon as Warzone came out, I was like, if I grind this game every day, because like Fortnite was already full of sweats and freaking 15-year-olds going crazy, and I was just like, this is a new game. Like, if I can really put my time and focus into this, I can get good enough where I can stream, and that's what I did. And it just became an obsession, bro. And every single day just became a grind to become better at the game, become better at my videos, become better at editing or pictures or whatever it was that I'm doing content-wise. Just became an extreme obsession.
Got it.
We are, man.
Here you are. That's crazy, bro. No. I don't know why, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking like this is years ago, but this is like so fresh to you, which is good because like if you're here right now, if you're on this fucking podcast alone, right? And I'm not saying that this is the defining factor, but I don't just have anyone here. You know what I mean? Like I started this podcast because I wanted to document this early stage of esports and gaming entertainment so that somebody in the future, when they're doing their dissertation or they're studying their sports thing in college, that this is one of the main places that they stop at to do their research as to how things were back then.
Which would be just now.
Yeah, which is now. I think that you know you getting here and as quickly as you did, just like it's wild to me. Like as I sit here and you're telling me it was just last year, like that's some crazy ascension, dude. Which is also good because you haven't been sort of tainted by the I don't know, by just doing it over the last decade. I started doing this shit when I was 2009. I've been here for 14 fucking years, and it doesn't feel that way, right? Like I love every moment of it. I will not trade it for the world. This is my everything, and no matter how many business I have on the side, like Optic is my thing for life.
And to be honest, like I'm so new to the space that like 2 years ago I had no idea what anything was. And like now it's like I'm playing catch up. I'm watching so much content. I'm watching like it's like day and night of just fully trying to like catch up. But it's good in a sense as well because I've worked at a bank for a decade. And so all of that I learned, just like goal setting and competition and just being organized, just bringing that into this world just brings a different kind of beast inside of me to just wanting to do this and grind it every single day. So it doesn't feel old at any point, you know, because I know that's a thing. When you just do something every day and you do the exact same thing, eventually it's going to get boring no matter how interesting your life is.
I don't know. I've been doing this for 14.
Yeah, but when you find like new ways to like push yourself to like the next thing, like, okay, they achieve this. Because like there's a lot of people like that I've also seen that have been really successful in the industry, and then out of nowhere it's kind of like, you know, they just play and stream here and then, and it's like I don't see myself being that guy. Yeah,
I give Optic a lot of props for that, right? We were here at the beginning, and we're still here in a meaningful way. We're not just participating. We are here in a fucking meaningful way. We're not out here just playing esports. We're winning fucking esports, and we're not just winning esports. We have viewership, and we don't just have viewership. We have an actual
fucking diehard
culture.
fans, bro.
Yeah, and we have a culture around here that has allowed us to create a fan base so big that it says, it's the green wall, man.
It's so crazy because like I see it at events. Just me being at my first optic event a few months ago, and being so welcomed by the Latino community, especially, just like, hey, like I'm also a Latino, and I follow Optic, been following Optic for a decade, and I'm so happy to see you. Like that's so fulfilling to me. Like it makes me feel like I'm part of something massive, you know, and I'm happy because we all are being here now in Dallas. I'm like, yo, like I'm ready.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I like that. It's definitely the want to create in the space is pivotal in how successful you're going to be, because anyone can just fucking turn on a camera and do this for a job, right? Like, no, we need people who are talented in the field that they're in, because that's only going to generate more passion and more quality work. It's as simple as the formula is simple. If you only hire people who are passionate about what they do, you're gonna be a winner. If you are just a person, especially if you work for Optic, if you're just a person who's here collecting a check, if you're not competing, you don't belong here. Yeah. Period. And that's cool. Awesome. We can still be friends. We'll still be friendly. You're still invited to the parties, like all that shit. But if you're not fucking grinding, and more importantly, if I see you that you're not grinding, you don't belong here. It's as simple as that.
That's facts, man.
This is competition.
I feel like that's how I've kind of looked at life ever since I can remember, bro. And it's always like, and it became a point where like I started doing it with intention. And it was like one of those moments I couldn't relate to a lot of my friends anymore. So it was like, I fuck with you guys, I love you guys, but like, I just don't see myself wasting 80% of my day. Like, it's like, I want to wake up and it's like, what am I going to do that's going to like get me closer to where I want to be? Whether that is in the creating space or the gym or whatever it is.
Yeah, I agree. Purpose, right? You have to have purpose. And if your purpose is to change your family tree, like Big Timer said, you don't have any options. You don't have an option to care about your feelings. You don't have an option to care about your mental. Well, I do. This is the pressure that I put on myself. I don't ever sit there and be like, man, what's really bothering me? I don't have a choice. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with it. I live with this. I love not having the option to be sad, not having the option to feel these feelings. I'm not saying that the people who have these feelings are optional. Like, these are problems that I'm blessed not to have, but I also know that the pressures that I have on me, like, don't work in another human being's
anything. Right. No,
like
100%.
I was built to sacrifice.
I feel that. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. And it's not like you don't feel that, but it's just like you push through those things because you have such a passion and such a target that you're like, I'm gonna get there, dude. Then you like being in the space where like there's a lot of pressure on you and there's a lot of because it's like that's what you like to wake up feeling, you know? It's like, you're working towards something like changing your family tree. Dude, so that's what it takes.
It's not just mine, right? It's like everybody that works here, like, I care about deeply. These aren't just my fucking employees or my teammates. You know what I'm saying? These are my fucking brothers and shit and sisters. You know what I mean? Like, I make it a point to be the one that takes the brunt of the stress and the brunt of the everything, so that they don't have to worry about that, right? Like, I obviously Nick has had his fair share of issues that he's gone through. Like, he's just started to open up about that stuff, and I'm like, I see that, and I'm like, okay, this is something that happens to anyone. I just happen to be lucky enough to where I can just compartmentalize. Okay. Wait, say it again. See, now you can't say it. No, how do you say it? Ice. Compartmentalize. Is this one of those situations in which you say a word and the word loses all meaning in fucking shape or form? I will say this. Before you make fun of me, I speak 2 languages, and this one is my second. Okay.
Yep, me too.
Yeah. So putting everything like inside, like my brain is just weird. Okay. I am able to just take all the stresses and just act like nothing's wrong. Right. So because of that,
because you care about other people and you don't want to bring that stress around them.
Exactly.
Like I got this.
Yeah. So I don't want people to think that I don't.
Because then it changes the vibes, and then
yeah.
if you're sad and you let that know, and then it's kind of like it brings it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that people don't think that I don't, one, believe in mental health, or two, don't understand mental health, because I fucking do. It's happened right in front of me. So, but yeah, I got really lucky in being able to be a person who just can fucking keep it inside and not suffer the way that other people suffer. But I'm aware of it. Like, I'm aware of the issues.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm an American-born immigrant. I have no choice but to make sure that I fucking succeed.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a huge advantage, man. Mm-hmm. Because like I feel like just some of the things that I've been through and just some of the shit that's happened to me in life, I don't look at it as a bad thing. I can get sad and stuff, but like at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, like this is what makes me me. Mm. Like this is why I'm so hungry. This is why I'm able to be the creator that I am, because I went through that shit, but it doesn't define me.
Yeah. What about obviously, like you're just starting your journey as a creator. Are you thinking about any side hustles, anything on the side that you'd like to do?
So, bro, I've actually always had. Even when I was in the bank, I started selling accessories like ties and bracelets and rings and stuff like that on Shopify.
Yeah. Shout out Shopify.
Yeah, and then now my merch is on there and stuff. So like, I've always just had like different online businesses. I started the one that I poured the most, I guess, energy into, was a blue light blocker business. Blue light blocker glasses.
Yeah.
And I just started that when I was at the bank. Just started a website, found a provider, had a friend who owned like a prescription business. Like his parents owned a lab, and was able to sell the glasses with prescription, and got into that world a little bit. Yeah,
there's been a lot of blue light stuff happening, right? Like obviously the most notable one is Valkyrie Ray, and the amount of shit that she got for it. That was like, I feel so bad for her, because like if whoever her business partner was in that told her, it's like, we're making a makeup line, period. Right. And we're going to offer this additional thing called blue light blocker. Yeah. Like she is big enough to where she would have been competing against the Kylie Jenners, against you name every other superstar out there. Yep. It's just someone steered her the wrong way or positioned it the wrong way. Like they saw a gamer and they're like, oh, here's a fucking no. The gamers is just a platform that they built themselves up, but just because, like, you know what I mean? Like you're a gamer, right? But you're not. You're so much more. You're gaming. Like the way that I'm a basketball player, I'm not just a basketball player. Like I am more than just that. So I feel really, really bad for the rap, because from a financial standpoint, I can only imagine how much better off she would have been if somebody would have told her, it's like, hey, this is just a makeup thing, period. Because she had that gravitas, she had that the power, right? The influence to own her own makeup business. And guess what? Because I'm a gamer, there's also this little thing, if you want to try it, is blue light. But the fact that whoever her fucking partner was led with that was like the biggest fucking mistake. And I feel horrible for her, because
but it's one of those things that, like, I don't think in and of itself could be like
one more thing on that is that the dudes we're the ones that were fucking, like, the men were the ones that were talking shit about her, because you weren't gonna fucking use makeup to begin with. And if you are one of the, if you are a man that uses makeup, that's cool too. But the majority of them are not. The majority of them are just fucking people that were just wanted to be fucking assholes to be assholes, and now, ruin something good for a person that they don't even watch. Fucking morons.
Wow. Just bad business advice.
In this one instance, in this one very specific instance, and it just happens to be a very, very profitable industry called the makeup fucking industry. She could have, she still can. If I'm her, I'll be like, you know what, man, fuck all this shit. I'm still going to launch this makeup thing, period. And I'm still going to offer this blue light protector because I believe in it. And it's a fucking scientific fact that bad lights come from there and they affect your skin a certain way. Okay, but that's just an offering on the whole suite of things that I have. Oh man, that very one specific thing like sticks out to me and will always stick out to me as to how somebody like that got guided into the wrong fucking direction. I don't know who did it, right? And I know it was nobody at 100 Thieves. I think it was somebody external. But yeah, it's just.
I mean, you know more than anybody, man.
I don't
You've
think
been
that I
there.
know, but
no, I mean, you see it with a different view from just like what's going on in the internet. You understand
yeah, man,
what happened at a bigger scale, which sucks.
It's nuts to me. But yeah, that's a missed opportunity. I feel really, really
so
bad.
I started that business and learned a lot. You know, I was sending classes to a lot of influencers on Instagram and stuff like this. Was before I even started gaming. And when I got into gaming, I kind of just, again, focus 100%. But I'm sure now that I'm finding myself as a creator and finding different interests, there will be something.
Yeah, good.
At the moment, nothing though.
Good. You got to keep an eye out, man.
Yeah.
You got to do anything and everything. Anything that you're passionate about, there's an opportunity to make something there. You know what I mean? Like something to share. And more than likely, the people that watch you want to help you and are going to enjoy the thing that you provide for them, because it's not you're not just selling ties to sell ties. Like you wear ties, right? Like you used to wear a lot of ties.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So you're not just selling fucking snake oil.
Yeah, that's kind of how like I grew kind of like a love for fashion, because once I started at the bank, I was like, hey, you know, what if I wear the cufflinks and then, you know, the tie clips and just different accessories, and that's why I started the business.
Peak lapel versus not peak lapels, like the whole all my suits have peak lapels.
The Peaky Blinders hats. I love those.
Those aren't Kangol hats. What do we call? Oh yeah, I think they were Kangol hats. Kangol was like
it was a brand.
Yeah, Kangol is a brand. I think still popularized by international superstar LL Cool J. But anyway. Dude, I can sit here and talk to you for hours. I'm glad that you're here now, because now you can get to be a part of the Optic Podcast. Now you get to be a part of all the content. It's easier to fucking create, which I'm excited about.
10 minutes away from here.
Hell yeah, love it, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Any
for
closing
having
comments?
Me,
like, you want to shout anybody out?
No, I mean, thank you guys so much. Especially
before we go, tell me about your trip here. Tell me about your trip here. When the
18
packing.
hours total driving.
Yeah.
We stopped in Orlando for 2 days. We went around City Walk, just spent 2 days in Orlando, and then we went to New Orleans, and that was crazy. We went on Bourbon Street and just got drunk, met a whole bunch of people, the cool people there that were in a convention, but just everyone just has, it gave me like that New York feeling that of being an older city, but also Vegas energy vibes. Just nobody gives a fuck. Everyone's just partying, and it's people that are there on most of the time on like corporate setting, like just
seats,
people that are just cool, man. So we met a lot of interesting people, partied there a ton, and then 8-hour drive last night into Dallas.
Damn, what time did you guys get in?
8:30 last night.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So you got a good night's rest.
Yeah.
That's good.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks again. All of his information is going to be listed in the description down below. Go follow him. Go on every platform. God damn it. He's part of the Green Wall now, right? So super happy to have you, brother. Really.
Hey, thank you. I'm happy to be here, man. And the rest of the Optic family, you'll be seeing me a lot often.
Hell yeah.
A lot more often.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for Shopify sponsoring the podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Peace.